Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this MCTV Sports edition of Boys High School Soccer. It is the Mills Vikings taking on the Aragon Dons in this Peninsula Athletic League Ocean Division matchup. Hello, everyone. I'm Kenny Milch alongside my broadcast partner, Andy Pittman. And Andy, even though Mills is in fourth and Aragon is in first, just one game in the loss column separates them. The Vikings still have title aspirations.
We're talking about a very tight title race here in the Ocean Division. We've got four teams that all could be competing, and actually there's even a fifth there with El Camino that could make a move. We do have some really good records up there with Mills only having lost one game now in league and Aragon having gone undefeated in league. So this figures to be a great matchup today.
The official standings, Aragon at 5-0-3 in the Ocean Division in first. Then there's a tie for second between Half Moon Bay and South City. They're both at 5-1-2. Mills, they're in fourth at 4-1-3, followed by El Camino 3-3-2. Then comes Cappuccino at 2-6-0, Jefferson at 0-6-2, and also Terra Nova at 0-6-2. Those are the standings in the Varsity Ocean Division on the boys' side. Aragon overall is 6-3-5, and Mills overall is 6-4-3. Ironically, Andy, both these teams are head coached by first-year coaches.
Yeah, and maybe it's that freshness. It's allowing them to kind of branch out, try some new things. I know that having the new coaches out there, you don't really know what to expect when you're going up against them. And in speaking to the coach of Mills, Craig Dilly, he mentioned to me that he was definitely not tied to any one philosophy when it came to coaching his team. He was looking to make many changes out there, making adjustments on the fly. So who knows what we're going to see out here today.
And both these coaches were blessed with very talented teams. It's not often you come into a situation to where you're coming in with a lot of very highly experienced players and fighting for a league title in your first year. Usually you're handed kind of something towards the bottom, and nonetheless, these two coaches have done a fine job in getting these boys ready to go as we're just awaiting for one of the referees. The head referee, Roy Fajardo, now in his 20th year refereeing soccer, was here plenty early, and Robert Costco, who is going to be the first AR over on the team bench side, and now arriving is Carlo Morillo, who is on the grandstand side. He's the second AR, and they're getting close to kicking this one off, Andy, here from Mills High School in Millbrae, California on this January the 30th, 2013. It is a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. It's actually warm, and recently over the past couple weeks it's been pretty cold. Great weather today, Andy.
Absolutely, and you can see some of the Mills players already shielding their eyes. They're looking into the sun today. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge this first half for them, and also looking back at the goalie, it's going to be a little bit tough for Aragon to see where that ball's headed. Not to mention the challenges that the referees are going to face. Everyone's kind of got their eyes up, their hands up over their eyes at the moment.
Mills is in their white and Aragon is in red. Mills moving left to right and Aragon moving right to left across your television screen. We are here on MCTV Sports, expanding our coverage. We had a girls soccer game last week. This week it's the boys, and there's a through ball that almost gets away from the Mills defender, but it was wisely kicked out, and we'll have a throw-in.
Looks like Mills is stacking the box right off the bat with defenders. We'll see what kind of approach they use, whether or not they're going to take a more defense-minded approach, try and hold off the goals here coming from Aragon, or whether or not they're going to be relying on the counter-attack, maybe sending the ball back up with some long kicks. We'll see today.
The Vikings goalie is Anthony Voizides. He wears number 1. He is a senior, and there's a throw-in, and it goes into the box, and it's nearly headed by Parker Huang for Aragon, but it's now cleared by Mills. The Aragon goalie is David Keel, and he is a senior, wears number 0. In the middle there with the ball is Justin Andrada. He plays forward. The leading scorer for the Vikings so far on the season is Aui Hernandez. Their leading assist player is Carlos Dantes. It'll be a throw-in for the Vikings on the far side. Once again, I'm Kenny Milch alongside Andy Pittman, and we are underway. The first half here, the Vikings and the Dons from the Ocean Division, and it goes out of bounds. So it'll be a throw-in for Aragon. Once again, the Vikings head coach in his first year, Craig Dilley, comes in with a sparkling 4-1-3 Ocean Division record, 6-4-3 overall, as a very young team. Only one senior starter, and that's Vosaides, the goalie. So they're going to be good for a while, Andy.
They have a great future ahead of them, and the record that they've put up this far in Ocean Division leads to one to think that they've got a real chance here over the next couple of years to make a run in the Ocean Division. Who knows where they'll end up.
Yeah, they may move up to the Bay Division as soon as next year. We'll see how things go. There's a nice run over the left side, but it's just too far out in front of the Mills forward, Aui Hernandez. Where's number 5? He is the leading scorer. He's the one to watch for the Vikings. Recently, this past Monday, Mills beat El Camino 3-1. Hernandez, speaking of which, had 2 goals. Also scoring a goal in that game was Jang for Mills. June Jang, that is. There's a nice center ball kicked over there by Aragon. That's Georgi Kurijako, number 15, and the ball will go past the end line. Possible corner kick here coming up for Aragon. And we know last time we were here last Thursday, corner kicks were very dangerous. And
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same situation today. You can see on the Aragon team, they've got some height, especially right there in the middle with 6 and 11. Look for a ball to come across high, hopefully, and give those guys a chance to put their heads on it. For Mills, defensively, it's going to be a challenge to get in there. They're going to have to knock around a little bit.
Watch out for the leading scorer of Aragon, number 9, Rainier Plantinos, and the ball goes past him, and it goes over to Connor Ching, and it's cleared out nicely. Back to keep it in for Aragon, or trying to, that is Georgi Kurijako. He battles the Mills player on the sideline, and on the attack for the Vikings, here comes June Jang. Jang sends it towards the goal. That's a shot on goal, and it's taken there, no problem, by David Keel, the senior goalie for Aragon. He is, or has been, leading the Dons to their first place record. They have not lost in the Ocean Division. Mills has lost just once. Both these teams kind of feeling each other out here as we start play in the first half. We'll go 40 minutes. Inside, nice pass there. Here comes Hernandez. No, a second shot, and it's just wide to the left side. It looked like it was heading for Hernandez. Aui couldn't get to it, and then another Mills player can't catch his number over the left side. Took a shot at it, and it was off the side of the net.
And that was actually an offsides call in there. Mills is getting out with some runs, but right now they're looking for some answers with the Aragon defense.
Eric Johnson there, number 3, battling for the ball in the midfielder. He is a mid. He's a junior. And there's a break right here. Coming on the breakaway is Rainier Plantinos. He cuts back to the middle, left foot. Shot is off to the right side, and that's the danger. You get a nice through ball, and Plantinos has shown all year long that he can finish for the Dons.
It was a nice shot there, and a good run from down the side.
Head coach Greg Markalakis for Aragon in his first year. 5-0-3 in the Ocean, 6-3-5 overall. Looking for a title in his first year. Was at Menlo Atherton last year, and Burlingame the year before that, and he was actually at MA 2 years prior to that. A lot of JV Frosh soft coaching experience. This is his first varsity head coaching experience. That is, once again, Greg Markalakis of Aragon. Here's a throw in coming from the left side, the grandstand side here on MCTV Sports. Our first boys high school soccer game. Great to be out here. Here's a run for Aragon. Aldo Severson, the big fella, tries a left-footed shot on goal, or maybe a center pass, and it goes past the end line off a Mills defender. We may have another corner kick. And a little bit about Aldo Severson, Andy, is he was a great football player for the Aragon Dons high school team. And a quick story about him, they played Terra Nova over at Aragon. They were down by a touchdown with less than a minute to go. It was 4th and 17, And Severson had been injured on 3rd down. He comes back on 4th down. Everyone in the whole stadium knew they were going to throw it to him. They did, and he was able to catch it for a touchdown from the 37-yard line, and Aragon went on to win that game after trailing by 3 touchdowns. So he can definitely do it on the football field, and he is their second leading scorer and their assist leader on the Aragon soccer team. So quite an athlete, Aldo Severson of Aragon.
And they may need that kind of clutch performance today. Hopefully no one gets injured, of course, but they may need that kind of performance today to break through the Mills defense.
There's a shot or a lead pass over there. Taking it along the side is Damon Swen, the winger, and his shot goes just over the crossbar. Damon Swen, he is a junior wearing number 9. He's a winger for the Vikings and their head coach, Craig Dilley. The goalkeeper, David Keel, boots it out of there. And we'll have a scrum there in the middle.
We're seeing a lot of bunching here on the field. On this right side, heading towards the Mills goal, we have a lot of space. All the action taking place on the other side of the field at the moment.
Jahi Park, number 6 for the Dons, kicked that out of bounds. And here comes the Vikings on the attack. And that's Park once again with the steal. And it goes out of bounds once again.
Quick counterattack there from Aragon. That may be the strategy for today. Although they are sending a lot of men forward, so we could see a lot of shots on goal today.
Here's a throw in. Nice throw. Deep throw. Severson with a head trying to get it through, and here comes Plantinos.
That's got to be a foul.
And it's a foul on Plantinos. And, last week when we did the girls' game, Mills and Cappuccino, which the Vikings won 4-1, things started getting really physical there in the second half. Matter of fact, we had 3 yellow cards in that one.
I would say Plantinos was lucky there not to get one assigned to him.
Offsides, Plantinos tried to send it ahead for Severson. You could see those two work well together. But go ahead, Andy, finish that.
I was just going to say that that was a pretty rough foul, but he got right back up and was right in the middle of the play there. I think Plantinos might be somebody to watch today for that Aragon attack.
I would agree. Robert Thorgerson with that free kick there. They call him Cheese. Very good soccer player, young man.
Any idea why that nickname exists?
I don't know. He got it in middle school, maybe even in Little League, and it's kind of stuck. He's only a sophomore. Number 16 is a big kid.
Yeah,
there's well for his size. I'm sorry, Andy.
I was going to say there's some big players out there for Aragon.
There's a center ball. It's just a little bit too far. Severson's able to keep it in, though. Severson going against Swen over there. Severson with the height advantage. He tries a centering pass, and it's cleared out. There's a shot attempt, and it's blocked. Nice play by Carlos Dantes, the center midfielder. He's only a sophomore. Very well done. Sometimes it's a show of toughness. If someone's going to take a blast at your goalie, at your net, can you stand in front of it and take it for the team? He did.
You have to. You absolutely have to, because if you don't, you're going to hear about it all day long.
Especially if it goes in.
Absolutely.
We're talking about Mills being so young. Just one senior starter, their goalie Vosaides. They had 5 juniors, 3 sophomores, and a freshman all in the starting lineup. They do have a couple injuries. Faraz Corey injured his ankle. He's a junior. Also, Matthew Louie, and I missed that one right there, but Matthew Louie is a sophomore, just had his appendix removed last Friday, and he may be out a couple weeks depending on, could be out for the season.
Yeah, that's no joke. That's a serious operation right there. So hopefully he'll recover soon and get back out on the soccer field.
Starting lineup for the Vikings, Vince D'Arajo is a winger. Justin Andrada at forward, June Jang center mid, Thorgerson center defense, Anthony Vosaides the goalie, Damon Swen's a winger, Alvin Kwong right defense, Carlos Dantes center mid, Aui Hernandez the forward, Victor Beglitzoff the defense, and Eric Johnson also on the midfielder for the head coach Craig Dilley. With title aspirations, just one game back in the loss column, Huge game today for the Mills Vikings and for Aragon. This is a big game. Boy, you picked a good one, Andy.
You know, I wish I could take credit for that, Ken, but the credit really goes to the teams. They've had great years so far, and, you know, it's been an exciting year in the Ocean Division for the PAL.
There goes Dantas once again. And there they're trying to switch it. Jun Jiang sends it in, and it's going to be a little bit too deep, and Keel is going to take that for Aragon. Good communication out there by Mills. High, a booming kick. Trying to get it through as Plantinos tried to head it on by. A little more contact, and they're going to go against Plantinos, knocking Damon Swen around.
He's going to have to settle down a bit out there. He's already shown to have quite a bit of aggression out on the field, which could translate into goals, but in terms of the contact, you really got to be careful there.
Here's a good look at Alvin Kwong, number 8 for Mills. Going to do the free kick. He's a right defender. He's a junior, wears number 8, and he boots it down the right sideline, and Swen tries to head it. Kind of mistimed it a little bit, but he's able to battle back and retrieve it. There's Dantas. Dantas still with it. Nice center ball there, but it's taken by the Dons. Up forward to Plantinos, looking for Severson, his partner in crime, and it's stolen right from under his foot. And a nice move there. Shaking the defender was Jun Jiang. And a nice defensive play there by Victor Beglitzoff. Johnson battling for it. That ball is won by Jiang and the Vikings. Back to their defender. Looking for Swen. That's Kwong. Johnson. Back to Jiang. Nice ball movement. Jiang takes a shot on goal, and it's just a little bit high over the crossbar. Boy, that was great passing by Mills.
You know, it was that passing that led up to the shot. It was a good show of ball control there. Way to take possession, hold it for a little bit, get yourself comfortable. Once you've had a few touches on the ball, spread it around, maybe put a kick down into the goal area, and hopefully your forwards will pick up on that.
Ball is directly at midfield. Thorgerson with the header, and the ball is sent through, but it's a little far, and neither Severson or Plantinos wanted to retrieve it. So it's scooped up by the starting goalie for the Vikings, and that's Anthony Vozaitis. The backup goalie is Eric Wong. He's a fine goalie himself. There's another shot attempt off to the right, and there's some contact with the goalie. No call. Boy.
That's a questionable no call there, as you can see. And we see here on our MCTV replay the first touch of the ball into the keeper that led to the contact.
There he comes.
And coming in there. Well, it's almost a toss-up there in terms of who got to the ball first, so perhaps that was a good no call.
Justin Andrada for Mills was in on that contact with David Keel, the goalie, and it was a loose ball at that point. It's anybody's ball, so as long as he's not directly going into the goalie and makes an attempt at the ball, it is a legal play, but it's always exciting here on MCTV Sports. See a little contact as we got no score here in the first half. Big Ocean Division matchup. There's Keel, senior goalie. Both goalies are seniors. Big header there by Alex Malado.
We had the opportunity to interview Mills goalie Anthony Vozaitis for the Battle of the Strip game, Mills and Cappuccino, earlier in this school year, 2012. And he was a great interview, a very personable young man, and I'm sure he's enjoying this last season here at Mills.
In title contention always makes for a great senior season. There's a nice through ball. They're trying to get something going here. Here's Aui Hernandez, dangerous, and he tried to lead Andrada, but a nice decision by Keel to come out and stop that Viking attack.
Again, good ball movement from the Vikings. Great idea in terms of putting the ball through and seeing what your forwards can do with it.
That was Thorgerson getting into a little bit of a physical battle for the ball with Plantinos. It looked like Cheese actually got a little shoulder in before the ball came down. The ref didn't see it, and Plantinos gave him the second one, and that's usually the one the ref sees is the second one, right?
Yeah, and we're seeing it's been a little bit of a battle out there so far. Lots of contact. You can tell that both of these teams are not holding anything back for this game. We'll see how things progress the second half, especially if it stays tied.
Nice center ball, and another shot attempt by Andrada is over the goal post and the crossbar, and Mills has already had 3 shot attempts that went over the goal post. And looks like, what do we got, a total of 4 shot attempts? 5.
5 attempts for Mills, 4 for Aragon.
Swen with the header ahead to Andrada. Here comes Swen again. Back to Andrada, a little give and go, and they continue with it. Swen gets through. Swen's heading towards the middle. You're going to try a center ball here. And the goalie comes out. David Keel. Nice ball handling by the junior Swen at wing.
Swen's been mixing it up today. He's already been in the middle of a few tight plays, lots of contact in there. You can tell he's not really scared to get in there and get dirty a little bit.
Andy Pittman along with Kenny Melch. MCTV Sports. Next week, Mills High basketball taking on Burlingame High School in a battle for first place. Andy, you picked another good one.
I don't know how I do it. Actually, we're going to have a quad next week. We'll have 2 games, which is going to be twice as fun.
I wonder if Adam's going to be there. There's a ball that goes out of bounds. As a matter of fact, yeah, that girls' game is going to be just as important. Mills battling towards the top spot. Burlingame in first. They've only lost 1 game. Guess who it was to? The Mills Vikings.
It's been a good year overall for Mills, I would say.
That's going to be a nice one. There's a throw-in. Alex Malado, and a shot attempt is going to be tracked down by Plantinos, and Swen is back on defense. He saw him on offense, he saw him on defense, and that one is cleared out for the Vikings. Trying to catch a number on who made that clear. He hasn't turned around yet. They got to get numbers on the front of these jerseys. There it is, number 8. That's Alvin Kwong. There's a through ball to Severson, and it's nicely tracked down by the Mills defender. Good hustle there by Victor Bedlitzov. That was dangerous as Severson almost got through. Over to Plantinos. There's your top 2 scores there, 9 and 11. And it's stolen there by the Vikings, and it's taken by Jun Jiang, and he sends it ahead. This one will go out of bounds.
Right at our camera operator, Derek Shen up there, doing a great job. First time up on camera, I think, for MCTV. First timer, so we'll be watching.
Welcome to the crew. 20 minutes has elapsed here in the first half. There is no score. The Mills Vikings and the Aragon Dons battling atop the Ocean Division. Big game for both teams. There's a center ball, and nicely played, a one-timer, and it just goes wide. Just missed that. Great pass inside. Let's look at the replay, Andy.
It's a nice cross there, going across the face of the goal, and excellent ball awareness there. Trying to go for the volley, be number 20.
Carlos Dantes.
Yeah, we spoke to Carlos Dantes' father right before the game, and apparently he had spent some time in Oblivion Soccer Academy. So maybe that's one of the things he learned there. But it was a great volley. Good skill play from Mills.
Really lifted that leg up and got it in the air. One-timed it. Just missed it. So a corner from one side, now a throw-in from the other, and there's a center ball that's blocked over there, and it's kicked out by Malado. And it'll be Vikings ball. Craig Dilley, head coach for Mills. in his first year. 6 years as an assistant under Tim Keller, who is the athletic director and was the boys varsity soccer coach, and now has been assisting Craig. There's a ball in the middle and a high shot, and it's just off to the left side. Oh, my goodness. Swen almost got that through.
Another volley. Mills is really aware when the ball's up in the air, putting it on goal. This is a fantastic play. They keep this up. As we see here, the ball coming up. Good concentration to watch it from Swen. And not an easy shot with the defender right there. Great awareness with the ball towards the goal. Close shot.
What a great shot by our MCTV crew. Beautiful slow motion replay. Getting it done. We're back to live action here. Watch out for Plantinos, trying to create space. Watch out for Severson on the right side, but Thorgerson is trying to clear it out, and out comes Vozides. And he goes down to the turf to make that save as the score remains knotted at 0. Both these teams have had ties. Mills has had 3 ties, and Aragon has had 5 ties. All 3 ties from Mills have come in the Ocean Division.
And a tie is not the worst thing that could happen. Obviously, you're going to get a point or two out of it, or a point out of it, rather.
Thorgerson trying to keep it in. Cheese does it. Johnson with a shot from deep. Eric Johnson, junior midfielder, and we got another substitution. It's almost like hockey here, except they do have to wait for a whistle. I like the rule of the free substitution thing.
Well, it definitely changes the strategy that a coach might employ. Obviously, you have all your players on your bench. You can bring them in. You can take them out as you see fit. It makes things slightly different. All your weapons are available for the entire game. So you don't have to worry as much about players getting tired. You can give them a break, have them pull them off, and give them some time to cool down. Or likewise, if there's a call on the field, maybe tensions are getting high, you can pull your player off and let them cool out for a while.
The formation that Coach Dilly likes to use with the Vikings, starting with the defensive end, is a 3-5-2. And that has been successful. There's another shot by Johnson, and it's off to the right side. And Mills has really taken a lot of whacks at it here early.
They have. That's their 9th shot on goal, with Aragon putting up 5. So a lot of action so far in the first 25 minutes here.
Still no score. Keel, the senior goalie, kicks it out, and trying to hold it in is Vince De Arajo, the sophomore winger for the Vikings, and it goes out of bounds to Mills. Greg Dilly, for 2 years, was a high jump coach, track and field at Mills. Ball's in the center, and kicking it a little bit high and out of bounds is June Jang. Actually, that was quite high, but it goes on that hill and it'll roll right back down. And as a high jump coach at Mills, and also with Skyline College, was in the men's soccer program as an assistant coach, was Craig Dilly, the Mills Vikings current head coach. From 2009 to 2011, he was also in the Burlingame Soccer Club, head of the pre-academy program from 2007 to the current year. He actually still does that. And he was a youth development coach, and still is, starting in 2007 at Burlingame Soccer Club. So even though it's his first year at the helm, he's been doing a lot of soccer, and that goes way back to his playing days, which we'll get to in a little bit.
And with a young coach like Craig Dilly, as we mentioned before, you don't really know what to expect in terms of his coaching style. I know that having played for younger coaches myself, it could be both a blessing and a curse, because they can relate to you as a player a little bit better than someone who's been off the pitch for longer. But at the same time, they might be just a little bit harder on you than maybe a coach that's got a little more years under their belt. And we did hear that a little bit from the players, that they were trying their best to make Coach Dilly happy whenever they could. I think when you make Coach unhappy, it means you're going to end up running just a little bit more. That seems to be my recollection anyhow.
Here comes Severson along the right side. Cheese trying to chase him down, but Severson's got speed. He goes back to the middle, and Thorgerson gets thrown down, and that's going to be a foul on Severson, and you could see that. They were battling along the side. Severson had the speed, but Thorgerson had the angle.
It's funny. I think Severson, for a second there, thought that call was on him. I actually thought that call was on him as well. Had a little tug on the jersey there, but the referees clearly see it differently, and now we've got a Mills kick.
Coach Dilley went to Mills High School, played soccer. He was an attacking center mid. First team All-League 3 times, an MVP in 2006, and he won the Blanket Award in 2007. So he was quite a player in his days here for the Vikings in scarlet and gold.
And perhaps it's the fact that he was an attacking center mid that he's going with this 3-5-2 formation with the 5 midfielders there, stacking it all up, trying to control the middle of the field. Probably setting things up with lots of passing. Although I would not be surprised, especially with the speed that Aragon has up front, if we see a couple of those mids drop back at some point.
Thorgerson on defense seems to be in the right place at the right time and keeps thwarting any Don's attacks. There's Kwong, keeping it nicely done there with the left foot. Johnson tries to send it through to Andrada, but that's nicely cleared there by Kujiroka. Trying to keep it in are the Vikings. Back and forth action. Coach Dilley, after Mills, went to Skyline College in San Francisco State. Played right wing back. It was first team all-conference in college in 2007 and 2008. So he did it in high school, and he also did it in college. Nice save. Good decision there by David Keel, the senior goalie of Aragon. Lives in Daly City, loves soccer, obviously. He's also a surfer.
Doesn't surprise me one bit after talking to him. I can totally see that. I did find out from him that his favorite league to follow is the Bundesliga. So he prefers the German teams out there. And his favorite team, go figure, Bayern Munich, well ahead of the rest of the field in the Bundesliga right now. And also just picking up Pep Guardiola, former Barcelona coach, is going to come on next year and take over the helm for them. So a lot for him to be cheering on with his team there.
Wow, that was quite a boot there from the backside, making that kick. Victor Beglitzoff, that was a shot on goal from deep. Uh-oh, here comes Severson. He could have a breakaway. Thorgerson tries to clear it and does a beautiful job. Well played there by Cheese, and he's slow getting up. He may be a little hurt by that. They try to keep it in. There goes Severson across the middle. Severson's going to try a shot, and there goes Cheese again. Thorgerson is having himself a day. We're just here in the first half.
To be able to get up from that injury right away and make that play takes some serious concentration, especially to deal with the size up front for Aragon. We're talking size, speed. It's a big challenge for the Mills back line today.
We asked Coach Dilley about this matchup today, and he said, quote, Aragon is a great team led by a great coach. Their play style is very similar to that of our own. And we see both these teams playing very similar today.
Can be a blessing and a curse, obviously, to go up against a team that's really similar to your own because, well, first of all, it exposes both your strengths and your weaknesses once you get out there. And in terms of making adjustments, it can be a little bit difficult on the coaching side.
Here comes a corner. Watch out for Severson. And Vosaitis tips it. Dangerous. Here comes Plantitas. And he puts it in for a goal. The Dons strike first and lead it 1-0.
That's a tough play right there. As a goalkeeper, your best option, and if the ball's headed your way, if you have to put it back out into the field of play, try and knock it off to the sides. Right there, Mills player stepping up, having a great shot on goal, actually putting a little spin on that ball, making it even more difficult for the goalkeeper, Vosaitis, to pick that up.
Plantinos with the first goal of the game, and we mentioned he was the leading scorer for the Dons, and he strikes it first off the corner deflection. Vosaitis was able to get a hand on it, but he tipped it into the danger zone, and Plantinos doesn't miss those opportunities. Aragon back on the attack. Sometimes you got to watch out for those quick strikes. You get a second goal and catch the defense off kilter, but Mills is able to clear that one out and making a nice run there, and still with it. There goes Dantas. Those corner kicks, so dangerous. They work on them at practice, all teams, and you can't predict what's going to happen after the first touch or a goalie deflection, and it's all about everybody staying focused and trying to get a foot on that ball, especially if you're on defense and trying to clear that thing out. Mills couldn't do it that time. As
a team, one of the things that you go through in practice is set plays. And especially with corner kicks, it's the only play on the field where you know exactly where it's coming from, whether it be a foul or something else. Those things happen all over the field, but corner kicks, something you can practice all the time. Usually there's a lot of tussling in front of the goal. You have to be prepared to get physical.
Foul on Andrada as he was battling with the other number 2, Jordan Lim. There's a kick a little bit off to the side. Here comes Vosaides to get it. So it's 1-0. It's Aragon with the lead over the Vikings here in this Ocean Division matchup. Aragon unbeaten in the Ocean. Alvin Kwong sends it in the middle. Andrada tries to head it forward, and Swen trying to pick it up over the right side, and he's battling and still battling, and he goes down. No call. Along the sideline, it's kept in and saved there by Kwong once again. Put back in the middle for Andrada, tries to get a head on it, and he's unable to do so. And it's cleared out there for Aragon. Swen playing both ends. There's Severson in the middle. Oh, and that was some serious contact by Severson. He lifted a shoulder and a forearm to Thorgerson, who went down on that play. Referee Roy Fajardo is checking on Thorgerson's health right now, and he may go over to Severson, and he may issue a yellow on that one.
He absolutely could. That was a questionable play right there. Cheese is taking a little bit of a beating back there at the moment, but doing a fantastic job holding the line.
There he goes after Thorgerson. Those two may be battling all day. And sometimes it just happens right from the start. Some guy doesn't like the way the other guy kicks the ball, and they say, all right, it's on.
It's a game within a game right there.
And that's up to the official to keep it under control.
I think you're right, Ken, when you say usually the official ends up seeing the person who strikes back second. So we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the game here.
Sent through for Aragon. Edwin Sazo is a sophomore, number 17. He's a substitution in the game as Vosaides, the goalie, sends it out, and it's headed out of bounds there by Georgi Kujirako.
One thing that I'm seeing out on the field for the Vikings right now is that players are getting the ball up front and not having any options to dump it off. They're being forced to hold the ball for a long time. You've got to see more movement from the midfield coming in, making some passes available there. Keeping the ball moving around is going to be the key, I think, for them to break through this Aragon defense.
Thorgerson heads it out of bounds. We mentioned this past Monday, Mills beat El Camino 3-1. Hernandez had 2 goals. Jang scored also. The assists went to Johnson, Dantas, and Soon for the Vikings. And last Wednesday, Mills shut out Cappuccino 2-0. Back on January 17th, South City and the Vikings tied 1-1. South City in the standings is just ahead of Mills in third at 5-1-2. Mills in fourth at 4-1-3. Back to action here, trying to keep it in over there on the sideline is number 4, Steve Gomez. It sends into the middle. And do we have a handball on that?
We do. This is going to be a dangerous play right here. It's right in front of the Mills goal. I would not be surprised to see a shot on goal coming from Aragon.
Could be Plantinos. It could be Severson. And my guess, it's going to be Rainier. Plantinos, the leading scorer, number 9, the senior for Aragon. And the Mills Vikings are going to have to set up a wall, and Vosaides is going to have to be on his game for this one. Plantinos sizing it up. Right-footed kicker. Here's the whistle. Here's the shot, and it's well high over the crossbar. So Mills avoids that dangerous situation, and we'll move on.
And that's a tough shot, trying to get that over the wall there. It takes a lot of skill to be able to bend that ball up and then downwards. You see certain players, obviously, like David Beckham or somebody like that, maybe a Cristiano Ronaldo, that can do that with, that looks like it's easy, but it's not easy. You got to hit the ball just right and have it dip down.
Well off the ball as the goal kick was sent. We had a foul on Aragon, so Thorgerson's going to take it just past midfield. Vikings trailing 1-0 here in the first half. Mills and Aragon. There's a pass over the left side by Thorgerson. It's headed out, but not quite cleared all the way. Here comes Johnson. Switches it over to Swen, who heads it back towards the middle. Here comes Andrada. Andrada just a little bit late, or the goalkeeper, Keel, was nice and early. He's made some good decisions early on when to come out.
He has, and we're seeing some great play down the side here from Sven. Lots of good passes, being able to hold the ball. Right now he's got it. Just needs a little help out there from a couple of the teammates on that side.
There's a switch from Jun Jiang. Now we'll try the left side. Just about 6 or 7 minutes left to go here in the first half. They may go 40 for boys also. I know they went 40 for girls, so maybe there's just a couple minutes left. Battle around the middle. Back and forth. Here's Andrada with a Don on his back, and it's cleared out of bounds. You're watching MCTV Sports, and our director, Randy Sahai, doing a fine job in the truck, along with our camera crew. Who we got on cameras today, Andy?
Well, we have Derek Shen on one of our field cameras. We also have Andy Chan. And standing on top of the truck right now is Jeff McGinnis, our ever faithful and talented Jeff McGinnis here at MCTV.
And we got a new statistician today.
We do. We have Jessica Say on stats. She's providing us with all the information we're giving to you today about what's happening in this game. Doing a fantastic job. She actually didn't know anything about soccer before she started today.
So you gave her the lowdown?
I tried to. I think so. I'm sure at this point she's become an intense soccer fan. An ultra, if you would.
Swen sends it back to the middle. Mills trying to get something going here. Would love nothing more than get a quick strike before the end of the first half and go into the locker room with a score tied at 1, although even down 1-0, all is not lost. Plenty of time left.
I think if you're the Vikings, you can't feel that bad about what's been going on. They've been putting a lot of shots on goal. They have been holding the ball quite a bit, but they've got to be really careful with this Aragon front line. Their speed, their size. It could be dangerous, but if they continue at least getting the ball up towards the goal, putting some shots up there, we'll have a game yet.
Thorgerson sends it ahead. Andrada continues to battle there in the middle. He's very sharp, but he just can't quite get by the Dons defense, which has been pretty sharp today. But like you said, Andy, they have got some shots off. They've just missed a couple times high over the crossbar, a little bit left, a little right. They get one on track, they could get a goal here, heading close to the end of the first half.
The mentality's in the right place. The skills are there. They just need to perform and execute.
Here's a throw-in over the right side. Alvin Kwong, the junior right mid, and a shot attempt by Dantas. And once again, it was Keel with the save, and we are going to have the halftime whistle. So we'll go to intermission with the Aragon Dons leading 1-0 here on MCTV Sports. We'll be back in just a bit, but first we have an introduction.
We were able to sit down and talk to Coach Dilly a little bit, and also a couple players from the Mills High team. Got to get to know them a little bit better. So here, let's check that out.
My name is Craig Dilly. I've been with the program now for 6 years. It was just the joy of playing. That was all it was. Every day you step out on the pitch and it's a new day. The feeling that you get when you touch the ball, play a nice through ball, doesn't happen every day. Make sure it's extremely competitive and they have a will to compete, but with that said, make sure it's enjoyable. The group of guys is extremely young in comparison to most teams. They're mostly sophomores. I have one freshman, and nearly all the sophomores are starting. So it makes a huge impact. If anything, it's a huge positive because they're playing against guys who are 2 times their size, and they're learning a different way to play the game that otherwise would never be possible. Everything that they learn, it's not only about football, soccer, it's a life lesson, every single thing. In high school, people like to focus on winning because they think it's everything. But I'll tell you this, it doesn't mean a thing in high school. They'll learn that if they decide to go on and play at a higher level. Right now, it's about making friendships, making those personal connections, and moving on.
I'm Victor. I play left back.
My name is Justin Andrade. I play striker, and I'm a junior.
I started when I was really young. I just like everything about it. It's fun to me.
I've been playing soccer since about 5 or 6, and I just like the competitiveness of it. I like playing striker because I like to score goals, of course. But yeah, there's a lot more to it, like holding the ball up front and giving your midfield a chance to come up and play the ball off to them.
Sometimes I don't like playing defender because I can't score, but it's fun when you can save a goal for your team. Yeah. After school or after practice, we'd always hang out with each other, always have team bondings, and we always talk to each other during school and outside of school.
I like Cristiano Ronaldo. I just like how he's very confident of himself and he scores goals.
I really like Ronaldo. I don't know, I just feel like he's a really good player. He knows what he's doing.
Most of the team, he really likes us to play the ball out of the back, like straight from the goalie, and work the ball from defense, midfield, strikers, as opposed to other teams in the league. They just kind of kick the ball straight from defenders to strikers up top. So he likes us to keep possession of the ball. Our biggest challenge is definitely going to be tomorrow against Aragon. They're in first place right now. I think we could do it though.
We are back, set to start the second half here on MCTV Sports. The Mills Vikings and the Aragon Dons in this Ocean Division matchup towards the top. At the top is Aragon in first place, undefeated, and Mills with just 1 loss, and the score is 1-0 Aragon. Rainier Plantinos off a corner kick at the 30-minute mark, and that's the only scoring we've had. On the attack, up the middle is the Dons, and it deflects right to Anthony Voizaides, the Mills Vikings goalie, who scoops it up, and he's going to free kick this one out. It's been a very exciting first half. A lot of talented young men. And once again, I'm Kenny Melch alongside Andy Pittman. And Andy, it's been physical just like that play right there, but also we've seen some talent, some great ball movement, especially by Mills in the first half.
Yeah, there's been some great skill moves that we've had the chance to see there with a couple volley shots on goal. We've seen a lot of physical play, as you mentioned, Ken, and I wouldn't expect that to change for this half. All we can hope for, though, is another exciting half of soccer here with lots of shots, hopefully a couple more goals out there for the rest of the afternoon.
Trying to send it ahead is the Vikings. Couple substitutions into the game. One substitution, defensive midfielder, is a sophomore, number 11 for Mills, Connor Killigrew, and that's Connor right there. As now Mills is moving right to left, and we noted last week at the girls' game, they're now moving kind of downhill. Here comes Thorgerson with a kick over the middle, bends it right through, a nice ball, and it's headed out by the Aragon defender. So the Dons were kind of going downhill, if you will, in the first half, and now they got a run here. Making a breakaway is Parker Wang. Wang with a centering ball. Vozides is going to make a great diving save because there came Plantinos along the left side, and a good decision by Vozides. He gets the save or the steal, and here comes Killigrew, the substitution back in with a physical play, and he's able to clear it out momentarily. Now we got an offsides on the Dons.
Things are heating up. There's a little battle going on there down the sideline with a few elbows being thrown out there. I suppose that's to be expected in a close game like this. Hopefully things don't get out of hand, but looks like the ref has a handle on the situation. No cards so far.
The Vikings, once again, 4-1-3 in the Ocean, in fourth place, 6-4-3 overall. They went 2-3 in the preseason. A couple of their games they lost at Sacred Heart Cathedral, the WCAL 1-0. They lost at Branham 2-1. They lost at Mountain View 3-0. But here at home they beat Reardon 6-1. So they got a victory over a WCAL school. That's always a nice feather in your cap.
That's right. And not only that, as far as the league season has gone, they've really turned things around from their preseason. They've been solid, and the results are there. They're battling for the title here.
Trying to run down that ball is Alvin Kwong. And it goes out of bounds. Here comes the Dons. You know, Aui Hernandez has been fairly quiet today, the leading scorer for the Mills Vikings. So Aragon has done a pretty good job on him.
They've been holding their defensive line back a little bit. So those three defenders that you see near the midline, they have the numbers. They're pulling back. At the moment, Mills has been stacking their box in the defense. If they want to get level here, they're going to need to move some men forward.
Killigrew sends it ahead. Nice pass over the left side. Dantas trying to chase it down. He'll try to send it through to the middle, and he does so, and it's headed out nicely by the Aragon defender, and it's then cleared, and it's ahead to Severson. Here comes Severson and Thorgerson. Thorgerson gets the angle, but Severson stays with it. They're really battling, and that time Thorgerson did grab an arm, and the ref saw it. But then they changed the call, and they're going to go the other way, so they're going to have a little conversation, the referee Roy Fajardo with Aldo Severson. Another whistle, more physical play. This one goes against Mills, so tit for tat there. We have got official confirmation on the assist to the one goal that has been scored today. The goal was scored by Plantinos. The assist went to number 19, Manny Villasenor, the senior for the Aragon Dons. Well done by our statistician, who's also / runner. So here on MCTV Sports, this is our fourth game, I think, of the school year. We've done football and a couple soccer games and basketball coming up. We'll do some baseball. We'll do some softball. We were going to do some wrestling, but there was some problems scheduling there at the last minute. And we're going to have a free kick. I'm sorry, Andy.
I was going to say there may still be a chance that we'll have some kind of a feature on wrestling. We're working on that right now. And definitely there's a couple Mills wrestlers that have done great this year in league and are going to be vying for the league championship, which I believe is happening on February 16th.
Connor Killigrew with a chance here for the Vikings, going to send it in, and it's nicely done, nice and high. But that tall goalie, David Keel, the senior, reaches up and he timed it well and he read it well and jumped from the right spot to make the save. But it was a nice ball by Killigrew, who has subbed in here in the second half, and he's made a couple things happen for Mills. There goes Plantinos with that great ball handling skills. One-on-one, a shot over the left side, and it's just wide. But he doesn't waste any time. You just give him about 6 inches to a foot, and that opening, he'll take advantage.
Any mistake that you make with the ball, right there, you saw the Mills defender take a swipe and miss, and right there, you've lost a step. Plantinos can move really quickly, and he showed there that if he gets a chance, he's going to put that ball on net.
Free ball, a lot of contact in there. And it's sent out there from Aragon, Connor Ching. Back in the attack is Dantas. Here comes Dantas trying to get through. One touch over to Killigrew, over to the left side. Oh, he slips. He maintains his balance, and he's still on the ball. Nice move into the middle. There comes a centering pass, and at one time it's missed. Just missing it. Right there was Nicholas Sue at point-blank range. Kept in by Dantas. Still on the attack. Here's Killigrew. Sends one in, a bouncer, and it's saved inside. And it's finally cleared out. So there was some great action by the Vikings inside. A golden opportunity and a great move by Killigrew, making stuff happen and sent a beautiful ball across.
Nice ball movement there, going down the side, looking in the center for any men that are making runs. Nice pass into the center there. They keep doing that, there's going to be a goal coming.
Beglitzoff with the big throw from the sideline. It's a free ball in the air, but here comes David Keel to snatch it out of midair. Boy, it's a great advantage to have a tall goalie.
Yeah, when that ball's in the air, you want somebody who's got long arms that's going to pick that up and not give the opponents a chance to put the ball on goal.
The Vikings have had numerous scoring opportunities this afternoon, especially in the first half. You mentioned early they had lots of attempts on net. A few of them went over the crossbar. A couple were saved. A couple were off right, off left. And there was a great chance. They've got to convert. When you want to beat a first-place team, you've got to convert on those opportunities.
That's absolutely right, Ken. And it gets a little bit disheartening when you put a lot of shots up, especially if you have good shots like some of the volleys that they've had or putting the headers towards the goal and things aren't working. It's tough not to get down on yourself, especially if there's if the team's out there and everyone's struggling a little bit. But that's really not the case here with the Vikings. They've got a lot of energy. They just need to keep their heads in the game right now and continue to put the ball on the goal.
After that 2-3 preseason, you mentioned the Mills Vikings really turned it around here in Ocean Division play, and we asked Coach Dilley how he felt about this particular team as Mills is going to clear it out of bounds. And Coach Dilley said, quote, "The boys have an opportunity to achieve things that few ever dreamed of. If they believe in themselves and stick to the game plan, good things will come."
That's a great philosophy to live by right there, whether it be for soccer or any other sport or just in life in general. You know, Craig Dilley also stressed to me when I spoke to him that while winning is very important and getting out on the field and being successful, that if these players were to continue playing into upper levels, there would be much more of an emphasis placed on winning at this stage. You really want to make sure they're having a good experience, that they're learning, that they're working together as a team. All those things provide valuable lessons that really extend beyond soccer.
Agree. Making young men out of boys.
Yeah, that's right. And these are the times, especially when you're working as a group, this is important to work together and be successful as a group. Make sure you have everybody's back.
Thorgerson sends it ahead, and it's headed out by Aragon. I was looking for Hernandez, and I don't see him in the game. I'm not sure if he's actually playing currently. We mentioned he was fairly quiet. We got a yellow card on the field coming up here. I didn't catch that. Did you see that, Andy?
I missed that one, but I'm not surprised. It's sort of a long time coming that there's been a lot of fouls, and especially if you have one player that's picked up a significant number of fouls over the course of the game, it's not surprising that the referee might reach for a card.
So the first yellow goes against Mills. And there's a free kick ahead by Aragon in their red jerseys, moving left to right, and Mills in white. And there's a low cut by Johnson, Eric Johnson. Ironically, Eric has a younger brother, Paul, who I believe is a freshman. Extremely talented young man at soccer. The future of Mills soccer really is bright. Speaking of younger players, the Frost Soft team before today in the Ocean Division is 2-5-2. And Aragon, the Frost Soft team, is 6-0-2. So neither Varsity or Frost Soft for Aragon has lost a league game yet.
That's impressive. Clearly, they've got a great foundation for years of success. One thing that should be mentioned, however, in terms of the Mills team, they have a very, very young varsity team. So it's not entirely surprising that maybe their Frost Soft team has struggled a little bit, because fact is they have plenty of sophomores on this team that we're watching right now.
Very well put, Andy. That's exactly correct. So sometimes things will catch up later on.
And watching them right now, it's tough to say that they look like a young team out there. They actually are playing with a lot of poise. Despite the fact this has been a physical game, the passing's been there, the shots have been there. The defense, it's coming around. They've got, like I said before, they've got quite a challenge. So this is, a big deal for them. But a solid performance overall thus far.
13 seniors on the Aragon roster and only 3 on the Mills roster. So there's your comparison right there. And the Vikings, as a young group of boys, are hanging tough with these older young men, some of them already 18 years of age. Trailing just 1-0 here in the second half. There's a dangerous ball to Plantinos, one of the leading scorers in the Ocean Division, trying to get around at his defender. Look at the ball skills by that young man. Plantinos, a senior. And taking control is Mills, and look at the speed down the right sideline. Trying to catch a number, and that was Howie Hernandez right there. And you got a little look at the speed and acceleration of the freshman. You talk about youth. The leading scorer for Mills, Howie Hernandez, number 5. He is a freshman, and there's a ball sent to the middle. And it's coming out for the save. David Keel once again. Nice ball there sent by Swen. Oh, no, here comes Severson on a breakaway. Severson over the right side. Severson gets bumped, and it's nicely defended. Very well tracked there by the Mills defender, Victor Beglitzoff, the junior defender, as Severson seemed to be all alone, headed for a breakaway, and here comes Beglitzoff.
You are allowed to use your shoulder to push into another player. It's a question of whether or not you're putting a bump in there or not. In that particular play, it looked like the Mills defender shepherded the Aragon attacker off, completely within the confines of the game.
Mulatto with the bloop corner, and Vosides timed it well. Always dangerous. In fact, the only goal of the game this afternoon was on a corner. It came in the first half. Plantinos from the corner of Villa Senor. 1-0 here on MCTV Sports. Kenny Meltz along with Andy Pittman, Randy Zahai in the truck, and our MCTV crew. A beautiful afternoon. There's a through ball. Thorgerson going to try to chase it down. Here comes Plantinos, and Thorgerson continues with his sparkling defense this afternoon. He has been all over the back line.
That's going to be the best tactic right there. If there's a ball coming down the middle, the Mills Central defense is going to have to look to clear it out the sides. They don't want to make any mistakes there in the center and give Aragon an opportunity to put the ball on the net.
That's a tough call. The taller player for Aragon, Edwin Sazo, just kind of went up, and he went with a smaller guy for Mills, and he gets called with the foul. And sometimes, the height is a disadvantage, especially on that one. Yeah,
and that's a 50-50 call. I've seen it many times where it goes against the player that goes underneath, undercutting the player in the air. So that's a ref's decision right there on that one.
Once again, Aragon clears it. Their defense has been on today. Possible injury over to the Aragon defender, Jahi Park, who is another senior. So we have a brief timeout. Talked about Mills recent results, having beat El Camino and Cappuccino recently and tied South City. As far as Aragon goes, this past Monday, they tied South City 3-3. Scoring goals for Aragon was Plantinos. He had 2. And Sazo had 1. Mulatto had 2 assists. They also beat Jefferson last Wednesday 7-0. Plantinos 3 goals, Severson 2 goals. Rivas and Bonilla each scored. Severson also, to go along with his 2 goals, had 3 assists. Bonilla an assist, Huang had 2 assists, and Hing had an assist. Another whistle, more physical play. And we got another yellow card, and this one is going to go against the Aragon player, Hector Bonilla. We just mentioned he got an assist against Jefferson, and now he gets a yellow card here today, Andy.
Yeah, the refs are going to have to step in as far as the contacts that's happening right now. Don't want things to get out of hand. There's a lot of little battles happening on the field, and it generally results from a good play that's happening. So, but still need to get control, not let the players get out of hand.
There's a free kick into the middle by Parker Huang, battled for by numerous players and cleared out. Here comes Andrada on the attack. Justin Andrada sends it to Aui Hernandez, who takes control in the middle of the field. The freshman sends it over to Dantas over the left side, trying to find some room, sends it back. Here's Johnson. Johnson with a nice move through the middle. Here comes Hernandez. He's dangerous, and he's just tripped up in the middle. Cleared out by Aragon. Good attack there by Mills. Those were the kind of attacks they had in the first half. They got to get some of those passing back and forth, give and go type plays in order to get a goal, something on the board, something in the net. Mills trailing 1-0 here at about the 59-minute mark. We're going 80 minutes. We mentioned Aragon beat Jefferson last Wednesday about a week and a half ago. Aragon beat Terra Nova 2-0, so 2 shutouts in a row. Once again, Pantinos with a goal and Severson with a goal. And then on January 7th, another tie against South City, 3-3. So Aragon's played South City twice, and they've tied both times 3-3. A lot of parity in the Ocean Division this year, especially the top 4 or 5.
That's right. And they're stacking up the wins against some of the bottom teams. So there's a lot of wins going across the board for those top 4. But what that really means is that things are going to get a little bit crazy these last few weeks of the PAL season.
In the preseason, Mills, check that, Aragon shut out Woodside 3-0, and they lost at Burlingame 3-1. So that kind of wraps up some of the results for both teams. Ball in the middle, it's loose, and who's Johnny on the spot? Robert Thorgerson.
Good move there, clearing the ball off to the side. Getting a little break for the defense, getting rid of the danger, taking a second to reassess what the situation is here and set up for your defense.
What a treat for Coach Craig Dilly. Thorgerson, just a sophomore. Hernandez, leading scorer, a freshman. Nice throw in from the right side, and it's cleared. Here comes Aui Hernandez, the fantastic freshman. All the speed, all the control, all the talent. He's pushed out of bounds. Nicely called there. And battling with that freshman was Manny Villasenor. He's a senior. Talk about contrast. There's Killigrew with the free kick. Oh, nice head ball to Andrada. Trying to control, sends it ahead to Swen. Swen tries to get a shot on goal, and he's knocked down at the same time as the shot. No call. And now we got a whistle, and we're going to go offsides, I believe. That looked like a nice pass. I don't know if Swen was offsides.
I didn't catch the offsides there, but I'll tell you that was a nice setup from Andrada, pushing the ball into the corner there. That's great. Allows time for the players to move up, get themselves set for a cross, and make sure nobody is offsides, of course. It didn't work that time, but good thinking there from Andrada.
Damon Swen is hurt, and he limps off the field. Tough blow for Mills. He has played very well this afternoon. Swen is a junior winger. He's been all over the field at both ends. There's more contact. and a foul against Aragon. And now we may have another yellow, and we do, against the Aragon player, and he's ejected. That's his second yellow. Wouldn't that mean a red, or is it 3 now? Looks like he's reaching for...
I'm not exactly sure, but I'm not sure if the rules in high school dictate that if a player is sent off twice that they cannot be replaced. It looks like he is being replaced, so...
Yeah. I see the red card in the left hand, but maybe it's just underneath what he's riding. Anyways, nonetheless, it's a second yellow card against Hector Bonilla.
We should know as soon as those shin guards come off from Bonilla there on the sidelines.
Great leaping header there by Andrada, but it's off to the left side, and we'll have a goal kick by David Keel. So another attempt in the big box goes off to the side for Mills.
They've been playing the deep ball a lot today, but I have to say that their backline, their defenders, as well as their defensive midfielders have done a great job of getting that ball up in the air and towards the goal.
My guess is, since I didn't see the red card, that you got to get 3 yellows in high school. Should have checked my rule book before I came today. Here comes Hernandez, and it's cleared nicely there by Killigrew. On the attack, it's a 3-on-3. In the middle there for Mills. Here's a shot attempt into the middle by Hernandez, and maybe even a pass to Andrada. And it looked like Jun Jang, who started it up the middle, wanted a center back to him. But Hernandez decided to cross it to Andrada. Another nice Mills attack, but they come up empty.
Yeah, that's not an easy play to make either, using his toe to poke that ball up there in the air. Just need to have somebody making a run going forward and put the head on the ball there.
One Mills soccer player who has gone on to play some college is Colby Kwan. Very talented player for the Vikings, as Severson tries to get it going on the left side for Aragon, and making a nice run, a left-handed center pass, and a one-timer off to the right side. Nice save or defense by the Mills defender in the middle. I'll try to catch a number on that if he turns around. Got to make a suggestion in high school soccer that they get some numbers on the front of their jerseys. Now he's turned around, and that is Alvin Kwong, the right defender, junior. Mills on the attack, trying to get something going here, trailing 1-0, and Killigrew tries the left foot, and it stays on the ground. It's an easy save. It was on goal, but Keel has no problem, and he sends a nice boot uphill, left to right. Kwong trying to chase it down. Plantinos puts on a burst, but winning the ball was Alvin Kwong. Sends it ahead. And clearing it out was Kujaroka, but not quite getting it out of bounds. Andradas tries to send one in. Hernandez went all out for it, but Keel is in the right spot, as he has been throughout. Dangerous ball here, and it's sent out of bounds wisely by Kwong. That back line of the Mills defense has been very sharp. There has just been one mistake. It was on that corner in the first half, and so far it's held up. About 15 minutes left to play. Now make it 14, somewhere around there. There's a header by Plantinos, and it goes over the net. A beautiful center ball. Plantinos went up for it and just missed it up high over the crossbar.
And the Mills defense can absolutely not allow Plantinos to get free in front of the goal. He has a nose for the ball.
That was Parker Hwang who sent that ball into the middle. Dantas trying to get it going for the Vikings. Johnson decides to let Jun Jang take it. Jang has some defense all over him. Sends it back to Thorgerson. Thorgerson from the point. Trying to send up the middle, more contact, no call. Sends it through to Severson. Severson and Thorgerson in a foot race. Here comes Severson along the left side. Here comes Mozaides, and it's a goal! Aldo Severson. Aragon leads 2-0. the speed a factor there, Andy?
Severson moves extremely fast with the ball, and it's a commitment there by Vosedes. That's a tough one. It wasn't a tough shot. He just lightly kicked the ball, but he put it right towards the goal. He even had a man trailing there to make sure that the ball was going where it was supposed to go. Tough to defend there for Anthony Vosedes.
So Mills now has a tough challenge ahead of them, trailing 2-0. With just about 13 minutes left, and now Aragon may play some keep away or the old kick it out of bounds game.
Yeah, this does not suit Mills' strategy thus far. Now they're going to have to take more chances, and if they take more chances, that means that more men have to come forward. More men come forward, and the Aragon forwards will have a much better chance to put some of their speed to use. They've shown to have great ball control. They've shown to have great movement with the ball, great movement without the ball and getting open. Just a strong pair of forwards up there for the Dons.
Both their leading scorers, Rainier Plantinos, Aldo Severson, have the 2 goals for Aragon.
It's a great thing when you know that you can put the ball forward and you've got 2 reliable players up there that can go get the ball with their speed and put something on goal.
Sehun Bang just got banged up there in a battle for the ball by Alex Malado. Malado is only a sophomore, but he certainly has the size advantage over Sehun, who is a junior. All it takes is 1 goal for the Vikings, and you're right back in it. They just need a break. They need to finish, and they haven't been able to do so thus far. Here's Severson, always dangerous. He sends it ahead, trying to make a run at it. We could have another goal, but Vosedes with a great save as he came out on Osmar Romano and stuck his right arm up it and was able to knock it away. Here comes Severson back on the attack, a low grounder, and Vosedes gets down like a shortstop and keeps it in front of him. Well done by Vosedes. Killigrew, dangerous pass in the middle. Here comes Plantinos. More danger. Plantinos with a left-footed boot. It's deflected, and it's taken by Vosedes. And Killigrew was not happy with the way his teammate cut on that. Almost resulted in a Don's goal.
You got to get on the same page, especially when you're making runs down the side. That's one of those things that'll develop, though, for a young team as they continue to play together. They'll start to have an understanding of where the players are going to be on the field, what player likes to make a run going where, that kind of thing, putting the ball up where they like it.
Fatigue can sometimes be a factor, especially with these high school games happening 3 times a week here in the Ocean Division. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is a Wednesday, January the 30th, and Mills on Friday, February the 1st, as we turn the page on the calendar to a new month. Mills hosts Terra Nova on Friday. Aragon hosts El Camino. So no time to think much about the result, no matter what win or loss. You got to get back at it Friday. 3 times a week, that's a lot, Andy.
That is a lot. And, you know, for some of these players, they're young, obviously, so they're able to rebound. You start to look at the pros or even the college level, and they typically do not try and pack as many games in to account for things like injuries and fatigue. A lot of times players, you know, they get worn down. It's a lot of running out there, so, and injuries can, you know, you need time to be able to heal from that.
One starter is down. We mentioned it earlier. Faraz Corey has an injured ankle. He's a junior. Here comes another attack. Here comes Severson. Plantinos. One-on-one against, is that Kenny, new player into the game? We got a whistle here. And I believe it is Kevin Kenny. And we got a yellow card, the 3rd one, against Aragon. And that couldn't be
that is
Bonilla
Plantinos
again.
No, I believe that's Plantinos.
And he's injured to boot.
There is, as far as I understand, there is no added time in these high school contests. So it's always a question when somebody comes down and gets injured. That can affect the outcome of the game. looks like this is a little more serious than just a little knock.
Clock, of course, a factor. Just only a little over 7 minutes remaining, approximately, as Plantinos indeed is the injured player, and he is hurt pretty bad, being helped off the field by his coach, Greg Markalakis, as well as his teammate, Osmar Romano. Markalakis, the Aragon head coach, in his first year once again, 5-0-3 in the Ocean Division, first place, 6-3-5 overall. Up next, we mentioned Friday's games for both teams on next Tuesday. It's a 2-game week next week, which is nice for the schedule makers. Mills is at Half Moon Bay on Tuesday. Cap is at Aragon. And then on Thursday, South City is at Mills and Half Moon Bay is at Aragon. So there's still 5 more games left for the Vikings. So even if they lose today, although they're going to need some help, their title aspirations are not over.
This is a great opportunity here for a free kick with the Aragon defense looking into the sun.
And it's Killigrew. He tries to drive one low. It's blocked by the wall. A second attempt is high, and it's just off to the left. That's one time we shot it into the wall, and the wall proved to be sturdy. Of course, Mills ends the season playing their crosstown rival, Cappuccino. That is on Wednesday, February the 13th, and then comes CCS. And, of course, the Ocean Division gets one automatic qualifier, and then everyone else has to apply for an at-large berth. So whoever doesn't win the Ocean Division will have a tough time getting into the Central Coast section playoffs.
And clearly Aragon is the team to beat right now at the top of the Ocean Division. But that second at-large spot will be up in the air. Looks like we're getting a card for dissent, perhaps.
And that goes against Manny Villasenor, who assisted on the first goal, and he heads off the field.
He is not a happy camper at the moment.
It looked like he just kind of lifted the ball and moved it after it was set. So I guess once that ball is set, you can't move it a little bit. Maybe it was in a little hole. He wanted to get it out of the hole or out of the ditch. Flying through the air with the greatest of ease, and he wasn't on a trapeze, was Parker Huang. Nice save there by Vizites. Aragon just trying to run out the clock here and remain undefeated in the Ocean Division and improve their overall record to 6-0-3. Another whistle. A lot of whistles coming from Roy Fajardo, our referee. The first AR over on the team side is Robert Costco. The second AR here on the grandstand side is Carlo Morillo. Connor Ching with the throw in. He's a senior for Aragon. On to the other side is Malado. For Mills, clearing that out was Alvin Kwong. June Jang mixing it up for the Vikings. A lot of movement, a lot of banging, and all these whistles just let precious seconds tick off the clock, Andy.
And Aragon's got the luxury right now with a 2-0 lead. They're just holding back 4 players on their defensive line here. No need to score any more goals for them. As long as they hold the Vikings without 2 goals, they're in good shape. No big deal.
Trying to get it going. Here is a new substitution into the game. It's Kai Yi for Mills. Now making a move for the Vikings is Beglitzoff, and it's cleared out. And danger zone here. Thorgerson's got the angle, and he kicks it out of bounds. So Mills making more substitutions. Leading scorer freshman is out of the ball game right now for Mills. That's Hernandez. And Kai Yi, the junior, is in it forward. He's up front along with Sehun Bang. as Mills tries to get a combination together that can put something in the net.
I've been impressed with Thorgerson today. He's been solid back there at the back of the line. Seems to be around the ball a lot.
Great throw in. And this one's cleared out, showing some nice speed there is Jun Zhang. Ball still in the middle. A high kick goes out of bounds, heading towards us. Good hustle there by Killigrew. Clock winding down. Just over 2 minutes. Looking for a substitution is Fajardo, the referee, but there was none there. No, now here comes another sub. And going out of the game is Jun Zhang. He's probably done for the afternoon. And coming into the game is Nick Su, a junior forward, number 4. That's him right there. Tries to send it through to Kai Yi. Yi battling. Here comes Su again. And it's Yi. Still trying to keep it in are the Vikings, and they just can't quite seem to penetrate this more older, bigger, experienced defense of Aragon.
It's been a frustrating game for the Vikings. They've had a lot of great attempts. They've had a lot of energy out there. However, ultimately, despite the score, this is going to be a great game for them in terms of building up an understanding of what challenges they're going to face if they want to contend for the title of the PAL Ocean Division.
13 seniors on the roster for the Dons, very young, only 3 seniors. And here's Kai Yi trying to get it inside, but it's cleared out once again. Just 3 seniors for Mills, so the youth clearly going to be coming into play in the following year or 2. A nice balancing act on the head there for Parker Huang of Aragon. And there's another trip along the sideline. I wasn't sure if that was Bonilla or Plantinos who's back in the game. So after limping off and looking to be done for the afternoon, the leading scorer for Aragon is back on the turf.
Little surprising there with a 2-0 lead that the coach isn't trying to protect the player from his injury, but maybe the injury wasn't quite as intense as first thought.
A little extra drama on top.
I've heard that sometimes soccer players can add a little bit of drama into the game.
Man on, Kai Yi trying to track it down, and it's cleared out by Keel, the goalie. Goes out of bounds. Here comes Killigrew. And here's a throw-in for Beglitsov. Kicked out of bounds. Save over by the AR, Carlo Morillo. Says play on. Officials have done a nice job of keeping things under control. Players have not done anything out of control. Some soccer games do get very, very physical, out of control, and this certainly has not been one of them. It's been a very entertaining, well-played game by both teams. It's just, I think it's been a matter of the experience, the size, the strength, and on the other side, the youth, or the lack thereof. And that's the end of the ball game. It is the Aragon Dons with the Ocean Division victory. Final score 2-0. Andy, your thoughts on the ball game?
I thought it was a well-played game on both sides. There was a lot of shots that we saw, good passing, some skill plays, a lot of things out here for both teams to be proud of. Clearly, the Vikings have some work to do if they want to contend for the title, but it's still not a terrible loss for them, just considering that they're going up against the top team in the division. The fact that they have youth on their side, there's a lot of things to look forward to if you're a Mills High Viking soccer fan or player for that matter.
Official scoring breakdown in the first half. Plantinos with the goal at the 30-minute mark. That is Rainier Plantinos. The assist from Manny Villasenor on the corner kick. That made it 1-0, and then there was one other goal scored in the second half, and it was a breakaway goal scored by Aldo Severson at the 67-minute mark. Once again, final score 2-0. Aragon with the victory. They improve their Ocean Division mark to 6-0-3. Overall, they moved to 7-3-5. Mills in the Ocean dropped to 4-2-3 and 6-5-3, their overall record. Once again, we'd like to thank our entire MCTV crew, including our color commentator today, Mr. Andy Pittman. For everyone here at MCTV Sports, I'm Kenny Milch saying so long, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.